everybody, and welcome to the course about open innovation in entrepreneurial partnerships and networks. My name is Thomas Holzmann. I'm a scientific project manager and a research associate at the Strascheg Center for Entrepreneurship. The SCE is an associated institute of the Munich University of Applied Sciences, where we offer also services for entrepreneurs and students becoming an entrepreneur. I hope you will enjoy my course, and let's just start with the closed innovation paradigm. What does that exactly mean? In this course, I will draw on Henry Chesebro's books on 2003 and 2006, as he introduced the open innovation paradigm in the academic world. As you can see here, there's the innovation funnel of a firm, basically divided into two stages: the research stage and the development stage. And you can see the firm boundaries, which are mainly closed. Yeah? We see the whole company as a closed system. And in the research stage, there are a lot of research projects ongoing, exploring new technologies, exploring new ideas, like also entrepreneurs do, and try to develop new products or services for the market. And then, according to some managerial decisions, one project is chosen for launching the market, and that's what we see here with the white bubble, which becomes then a blue bubble because it's then a ready product for the market. What does that imply, the closed innovation paradigm? The closed innovation principles are that not all the smart people in the field, work for us. That means that the company only chooses the best employees. To profit from R&D, we must discover it, develop it, and ship it ourselves. That means that we don't show everything what we have before it's not developed. So it remains in the company and no one has access. So all the R&D departments are closed for everybody. That's why, for example, you have to give your iPhone or your mobile phone away when you're visiting a company in the production line or research departments. Then, next principle is, if we discover it ourselves, we will get it to the market first. So that means that we must be the first on the market, because then we have the advantage, the competitive advantage, that our product is then bought by more customers than the second follower, for example, which is not always right, but according to the closed innovation principle, this is the case. The company that gets an innovation to the market first will win. That is the implication for the first argument I said. And if we create the most and the best ideas in the industry, we will also win. And the last principle is then we should control our intellectual property so that our competitors don't profit from our ideas. So that means we have to reinvent the wheel again and again. And now, Henry Chesebro came up with a lot of other literature references that the open innovation paradigm may lead to better innovations in a networked environment. What does that mean? Before that, we saw that the firm's boundaries are closed. So, and here they are becoming more open, which is then here presented with the dotted lines, that the innovation funnel has kind of holes where knowledge and technologies can inflow or outflow. So again, we have in the research stage, we have different projects, explorative projects basically. But one of them, what we can see here, for example, is then split it up so that a technology or knowledge, what I don't need anymore, is sold to an external partner. So I can sell knowledge or technologies or intellectual property to some customers, or even create a spin-off when managers say we have such a good idea, but I cannot develop the idea internal for company, so I can make the inside-out process and just found my own company and create a new market, perhaps. Furthermore, it's not one direction, it's also bidirectional, so we can source knowledge, technologies, and ideas from external partners. It's called the outside-in process. For example, here the dark blue bubble is a kind of startup maybe, which offers a new technology, and a firm can internalize it to a joint product, which we see here with a light blue bubble. And last but not least, there's also the possibility to develop something in a cooperation or in a collaboration, which is here called the coupled process. And therefore, the company then, for example, the entrepreneurial firm, the startup, is not acquired for that process, but a startup works together with an established company on a joint project and launches a product together on the market. So these offers you see here, that is a much more complicated and complex process as the first closed innovation process. So what are the open innovation principles in this new paradigm? It means that firms say not all the smart people work for us. We need to work with smart people inside and outside of our company, so we have to find them. External R&D can create significant value. Internal R&D is needed to claim some portion of that value. So combine external R&D with internal R&D for a joint product, for example. Further principle is then we don't have to originate the research to profit from it. So we can also learn from other researchers or other research projects and implement it in our projects within a company. Furthermore, the notion that building a better business model is better than getting to market first. So because what is the advantage if I launch a product as the first mover on the market without a real need on this market? So having a better business model on maybe an already existing technology is better and more sustainable for the innovation, that it might be a success on the market. If we make the best use of internal and external ideas, we will win. So that is also a more collaborative way to work in terms of innovation, instead of just going back in my closed system and don't show anyone what I developed. And last but not least, we should profit from others' use of our IP, and we should buy others' intellectual property whenever it advances our own business model. So that means be a bit more open towards knowledge, towards technologies and ideas, and share some insights, as long as you don't share your key assets, of course. For that reason, I would like to, as this is an entrepreneurial course, I would like to introduce you in entrepreneurial partnerships. So how open innovation between a startup and an established company could work. As you might be future entrepreneurs, it might be interesting for you. So first of all, a startup has limited resources and no access to market. As a lot of entrepreneurs or students, for example, don't have the business network a senior manager has, for example. So why could an established company then help you? An established company could help you because of, big company is a big organization. So they have a lot of resources, they have a large network, and they have the market access. So that's where you could profit in such kind of partnership. Whereas an established company has also a need for constant innovation and for the creation of new markets in order to survive on a competitive market. So that's much more difficult for an established firm because corresponding to their history, they are much more path dependent. That means that, for example, an automotive firm can't just stop producing cars and within 1 year they change it to airplanes, for example. That's not possible because they are stuck in the automotive industry. So and that's why startups, which are highly flexible, so a small organization, have innovative ideas and enter new markets, could bring exactly that value, that added value for established firms in order to help them to create these new markets. So therefore we talk here about complementary resources and complementary competencies in such asymmetric partnerships. So the chances for the entrepreneur in such asymmetric partnerships is to get exactly access to these complementary resources and competences, which brings you forward as an entrepreneurial team, but also you have the established company can also benefit from it. And another reason is why there are chances for you as an entrepreneur. Once you might fail with your idea, which is not a problem in entrepreneurship. I mean, we are doing something new in entrepreneurship, so it might occur that you fail. You can become an entrepreneur and maybe then bring your project forward within this organization or another project. But you still have a network, business network, which might help you to become a professional manager then maybe, or a so-called entrepreneur. But there are also some hazards in this asymmetric partnership, of course, where entrepreneurs should be aware of. For example, ideas and knowledge can be adopted and implemented by the other partner without that you even know it. Yeah? Then You give the ideas and you don't get rewarded for that. Another problem is, or even maybe your idea might be then just integrated in a product and your idea is gone then. So if you're not taking care about your key assets. Another problem might be then cultural differences in terms of organization, in terms of communication, and basically in terms of managing the whole partnership. And why, or what are these cultural differences? I mean, you're as an entrepreneurial team, as you're a young student, for example, you might work with free software like Skype and Dropbox. That's just a simple example. But all this freeware software they are not allowed in established companies. So because of their IT security issues. So you might say, yeah, I sent you the document we discussed last week via Dropbox, and the manager would say, well, I didn't receive it, thank you. And that might cause problems in your partnership, which can even then terminate the partnerships because you are not communicating on the same level. So there are a lot of misunderstandings if you don't consider these cultural differences. Another cultural difference could be that managers have a strict timeline, and you as an entrepreneur might be more creative and more unstructured in your working because you have so many things to do that you can't structure like a manager in a kind of timetable. So that might be also another reason why these partnerships could fail. So be aware of if you enter these partnerships with an established company in order to get a successful partnership with them, because they're not only negative points, as I mentioned before. But that's just one example. There are other partnerships which are also important as an entrepreneur, or for you as an entrepreneur, which I would like here or introduce to you, like the Entrepreneurial Network. So what should you consider if you want to found a company, doing open innovation in an open environment? What kind of actors you should consider for your entrepreneurial network? So first of all, I would like to start at universities. So if you're a student, you can go to your university. There are research facilities. You can research, try to test your product in such of research labs. Maybe even a professor can get involved. So you can create a spin-off of the university. That is one key player in your network. Often, universities also have incubators, entrepreneurship centers like the SCE, where I'm working for. They are offering you specific services for your entrepreneurial questions in building your entrepreneurial network. And the positive aspect of such incubators is that they are often for free because they are public funded, and you can meet other entrepreneurs there who then help you in your ideas. You can get feedback from them. You're in a community. You're not alone. So that might you might benefit from that ecosystem. But not also incubators are not only located at universities. They are also located business partners, for example. What we observe here in Germany the last 2 years is that more and more corporate incubators are founded. So they are kind of commercial structure. Therefore, you maybe have to pay, or you give some shares of your company in order to work in a corporate incubator, where you can also access then the resources of the business partner. Furthermore, you need specialists and consultants in your network. So as you're an entrepreneur and maybe an electronical engineer, you don't have any clue about accountancy or legal issues. So don't do it by your own. Try to find the right partner in a network, because it might cost you too much time to learn all this legal stuff. And maybe then you can also do some faults in it because you're not a specialist in that issue. Furthermore, there are also other partners like R&D partners offering big labs for developing a product, for example. You should be also aware of suppliers. So, keep in mind, you don't have to invent the wheel by completely new. Look for suppliers who have already similar products or similar services that could help in advancing your idea. Furthermore, include the customer in your entrepreneurial network as early as you can get them to get feedback on your product. And also keep in mind that you need employees. So start searching employees for your team, or also entrepreneurs for your team as early as you can start it, because it might also take a lot of time to find the right one. So consider that when you build your entrepreneurial network. And last but not least, maybe the most important issue is investors. Don't neglect the investors. So look who can be your right investor. Either you're going for business angel funding, or you're working and talking with a venture capitalist, or maybe a business partner might be your investor in a partnership, or you try to get public funding. So these are all decisions you have to structure your entrepreneurial network according to these questions. So the recommendations are now: talk to the right people about your idea, your concept, or your prototype. As long as you trust them, of course. That's why the right people. Seek external feedback as early and as much as you can in order to develop your services, your idea, or your vision. But be aware with whom you share your key assets, like sensitive information about your idea, should only be shared with trustful persons. And therefore, intermediary institutions like entrepreneurship centers, as already mentioned, offer services in helping you forming and interacting in your entrepreneurial network and finding the right partners. So the conclusions of what we have learned so far is networking and an open exchange helps entrepreneurs in developing and structuring their ideas and concepts. Entrepreneurs should follow their vision, but should not try to become an expert in every field. So try to find the right partners in the fields you're not an expert in. The capability of an entrepreneur is to identify the right partners who can help them, that the work can be divided either within the team or among partners in the network. And like always in our life, there is no right, there is no complete wrong, but an entrepreneur must be aware of the chances and hazards by entering and acting in this network. So thank you for your attention. I provide you some papers and books for further reading if you're more interested in that topic. But so far, I think, and I hope you get a good overview about open innovation and acting in an innovation or entrepreneurial network. Thank you very much.